Last time on Knights of the Rolled Table, the party journeyed to the sunless jungle of Oakjahar, but when trying to convince a dragonborn artificer named Bato to come back and help the knights, his machine exploded, and the party rematerialized 1 hour earlier where they entered the jungle. They were stuck in a mysterious 1 hour time loop alongside another knight named Coach, who was a dwarf barbarian looking for his son. The group managed to get to Bato and convince him to help them save the realm. Upon arriving back in Glorn, they receive a distressing message from Raphaela. Drake Bloodmoon has been taken.
Gate chamber. Raphaela is out of breath. She has just run in panicked, and she said that Drake Bloodmoon, who is the kind of unseen benefactor and sort of head knight of this area of the world, has been taken or has gone missing, and that's where we're going to pick up. So what do y'all do?
We go after him? What do we know? How can we find him? We're getting good at finding people. Kind of our thing.
Yes,
you could call us the finders.
Finders, right? No, well, you do that, but I don't have a whole lot to go on other than what Gustavo has told me. But you better come into the lobby. He might be able to fill us in a little bit better.
Oh, Gustavo.
Gustavo was the shape changer that originally Julius, and some of you had known her as somebody else, the changeling, and who had originally brought you down into the Underdark and kind of brought you all together in some ways. He's sort of the right-hand person to Drake Bloodmoon, so that's what you remember as you're kind of running up the hallway of the Grumble Gate. Into the main lobby of Glorn Temple, and there you see a couple of people, beings there. You see Gustavo in his changeling form, male, pale, and lying down on the ground, and he is clutching his side, and there is a black oozing kind of blood coming out, but there's some blackness around the wound, and it looks kind of festering, and he's breathing heavily, one arm kind of supporting him. Right around him is Boone, the beholder, the pink beholder, who's kind of floating and just looking very concerned with his one eye furrowed, and all the other eyes are kind of looking around. Some of them look at you, some of them look back at Raphaela, some of them look at the different doors, and Lucky is also there trying to do some healing. You see some glowing, radiant energy coming from his hands, but he kind of shakes it out and tries again. And you all kind of come into the main lobby area of the main part of the temple, where all of the knights' insignias are around you, the different banners from various realms, and you enter in. And Lucky turns to you, sees all of you and Raphaela. Also, the two Dragonborns are there. Bato, the Dragonborn artificer, and his husband, Thress, who is very weak, but he's supporting, are also kind of making their way up as well. And Lucky turns to you, and he says, "Nothing's working. I'm trying to heal him, but it's like it's not even... None of the magic's taking. It's like just being absorbed." And you can see Gustavo is down, just breathing very heavily. "Hello, my friends. I'm sorry we're meeting under these circumstances."
Do you want me to try to help?
And Lucky says, "You can try. I've been trying to cure wounds, and I don't know what else I can do, honestly."
I'll try to lay on hands.
Lay on hands? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What do you want to... How much do you want to do?
So actually what I would like to do is 5 points towards trying to neutralize any poisons that may be in him, and then 20 towards actually healing.
Okay. All right. So with that, Melbin comes over and his healing energy kind of calming. What color, what does lay on hands look like for you? What is it radiant, damp? Is it radiant energy? Is it blue? Is it like green?
I'd say it's like a greenish radiant energy.
Okay. So this kind of greenish, soft glow comes out. It's a little bit of nature. These little kind of almost firefly kind of green specks form in the air. And Gustavo breathes for a second. You can see this black kind of ichor around his chest sort of recede in and fade out into clearness. And then it's just blood. And then as you continue to heal him, the wound starts to close and mend. The blood is still there, but it is healing itself. And Lucky kind of looks at you and like, oh, my goodness. Well, you must know something I don't. I tried everything, but what do you think it was?
I think it may have been that he was poisoned.
And Gustavo says, I very much think that's what it was. In retrospect, thank you, my friend. He puts a hand on your shoulder and he says, I was very worried for a second there. There's something that they stabbed me with, it was the purifiers. When they came in, they attacked me and they took Mr. Bloodmoon.
The purifiers. Those folks
yes.
from up in the city and the clerics people?
Yes. Yes, they found where we were hiding. I don't know how. We keep very, as you know, Mr. Bloodmoon likes to stay in the shadows. He likes to be very secretive, and you can see he's kind of like gaining his second wind back. He's kind of sitting up a little bit and just kind of rubbing his where the wound was. So I'm like, that's magnificent work. I don't even see it anymore. We were hiding, and we were in the hideout, the safe house, and all of a sudden they just appeared. They poof, poof, poof. This teleportation circles, similar to the ones that you all use here, I'm assuming. They all came through. There was a mage and several purifiers, 4 or 5 of them. It was dark. I don't know. It all happened so fast. They stabbed me with this poison dagger, and I saw them as I was fading out. I saw them put a hood over his head, and then they took him through the portal. I'm sorry, I don't know where they took him.
Well, we've been in there recently. Maybe we could go back. We talked to Norse and Drell recently, and
You talked to High Cleric Drell.
did, yeah.
He helped me with the little being dead problem.
Oh no, I am sorry that happened to you. I'm glad you're safe. I'm very glad, because otherwise you saved my life.
Yeah, that's a good point. We needed to talk to Drell to save Melbin's life, who now saved your life. So, in retrospect, it makes it kind of okay if we may have accidentally given up some information in that process that could have possibly maybe led us to this point as well. It's kind of a circle, if you want to look at it.
You don't make an omelette without cracking a few eggs, dear.
But what did you tell him? What information? Anything that would have given away? Did you tell him anything about Mr. Bloodmoon?
No, actually, too much.
Only that we talked to him.
We didn't really know much about him. He had us under a zone of truth spell, but luckily we didn't really know that much about him, so I don't think so. But he was definitely already after Bloodmoon for sure.
Yeah, and Raffaella says, well, we we didn't know anything was wrong until we were actually contacted via message, Gustavo, to tell Mr. Bloodmoon about all of the good things that your group had done. The searchers, the finders. I can't remember what you referred to yourself as. And there was no response, and we Lucky was sent to search out. Kind of found his location, and it was rather quick, and he came back with Gustavo in this state.
All right, well, any ideas? If somebody could just tell me where to punch, that'd be great.
I'm afraid
I can also kick if that's helpful, or headbutt.
As much as I would like to point the finger at Narsandrel, it seems that he's in the clear at this point. But maybe the purifiers are secretly working for someone else. And Gustavo says, "Well, they're not the most friendly looking of folks. Very dark and shady and kind of pointy things, they carry. I'm sorry, I'm not as good of a fighter as all of you, but if they have the ability to, with this other mage that was with them, I didn't recognize him. He was very creepy and pale, and it's a good thing that Lucky showed up when he did."
Well, perhaps we should go speak with Narsandrel and see if he knows more.
Raffaella says, "I suppose you could do that, but I still feel like there's something terribly wrong that he's not telling us." Did you learn anything when you were in Ogjahar with I assume this is Bato? Bato says,
"Yes, there was a misunderstanding about, well, there's a long story. I'm sure I can fill you in at some point. I need to get to, the first night and where she is. Can somebody take me and my husband there?"
They sent Coach to find a blacksmith. These guys, him, and they needed to forge something. They needed to work with a hard metal like that luminite stuff that Kali was working with.
Yes, that material that you brought back, that strange stone glowing substance. Well, I suppose I can... Lucky, do you want to take them to Oakhart? I'm a bit tapped out at the moment, actually. I'm trying to heal, and I use some spells. I didn't think about the poison thing, but I don't really have that in my bag of tricks. So, if you could do it, Raffaella, that would be wonderful, because I don't think I'd be able to take them until tomorrow. And Raffaella says, "Of course, I will do that at once. We must keep things moving, and I'm sure that all of you can figure out the next step. If you need to talk to Narsandrel, you might have to wait until tomorrow. Are you hurt, or do you need to rest?"
Well, we got chased by a dinosaur back there, but it's a part of their long story, really. It's okay. It turned into a lizard.
Oh, I love dinosaurs. I've always studied about them. Never seen one, though.
It was...
We actually handled it quite handily. Thank you to
ultimately
Theo.
not a problem. Yeah, good job. But I'm okay. Is anybody...
Yes, the time loop healed us.
We all up for more adventure?
Time loop?
Do you...
I'm sure. I can't wait to hear about this. Well, good luck to all of you. Keep me informed and send me a message with your tattoos if you need anything. Theo, Was there something that you needed to tell me? That there was a bit of a rush before you left last time, and it seemed like you wanted to tell me something?
Oh, yeah, I suppose I wanted to ask you something, but I'm missing something. Could you possibly send me back real quick to the place we were before? I just had forgot something.
To Oakjaha.
Oh,
Boulder Bell.
yeah, to Old Boulder Bell, if you remember. We had gone there.
Well,
I think I left
can't
something.
go to the same location. There's a bit of a delay about going back to the same teleportation circle. It's sort of prevents us from. We might have to wait about a month or so.
Okay.
I'm terribly sorry.
Well,
I could get you. I could take you to somewhere near there, but it might be a couple of days' journey to get to there.
Oh, that's okay. I'm sure.
Is it a pressing matter? Perhaps a weapon or some sort of protection that will aid us in the battle with the realms?
Well, in a way, it's certainly a piece of armor that can unite people from around the realms. I'll tell you what. I'll just find my own way with it, and meet up with you another time.
All right. Sure. Well, with that, Bato and Dress, you can come with me. And they start heading down. She kind of gives you a nod. She gives everybody sort of a nod. Gives Lucky sort of a look like, don't, let's make sure you get this right, and I'm leaving the castle to you. And they start walking back towards the Grumble Gate, speaking in Draconic because all three of them are Dragonborn, and they're just like, yeah. It's kind of pleasant Draconic kind of going back. Lucky helps up Gustavo, and he says, Gustavo says, well, I suppose if you wanted to go back to our safe house, maybe there would be clues of some kind, or I could guide you back to, I could guide you to the High Temple. Lucky says, or I could take you there in about 8 hours. If all of us take a rest, then I might be able to get my magics back. Just need a bit of a refresher, and then I could teleport us there and save us some time, because it would take longer than 8 hours to walk there on foot, unfortunately.
All right, ideas, thoughts. Let's take a consensus.
So our options are to go on foot.
Yes, if you go now, it would remember it takes about, for the nearest gate to the surface, it would take about a day to get there. We'd have to travel without stopping, and it would take you to the surface, but it would probably be a rough trip through the fog.
Not a fan of the fog.
And we might run into some drow and perhaps Snurfniblin and anything else that might be down here, because there's a lot of monsters and I don't like them. So
we were not fans either.
That is one option. Another option is we wait for Mr. Lucky to get his magics back, as he said, and we will go in about 8 or 9 hours. And
that feels a lot like working smarter, not harder.
If I'm going with you, to be honest, even though, Mr. Melbin, you helped me heal quite quickly, I also feel like I need to lie down. Losing a lot of blood is not a good feeling.
I understand. I have been dead.
Then we take a rest, and perhaps a few of us take a bath.
Yes, because you are, even though you went back in time from being blown up, you're still kind of covered in, it was a hot, humid jungle, sweat mist, and you feel like you're covered in little nettles and just, it just feels kind of swampy, like and foggy inside of your outfits and whatnot. Like everything needs a good like oiling and cleaning and whatnot. Y'all could refresh yourselves.
Yes, swampy is not an adjective you ever want used to describe your interior of
Your
clothing.
funk, yeah. There's also things you might you haven't had time to really review, like the book that you have, Melbin. There's other things, like other materials that you have to look at, like notes you could compare in the
I want to find out if Theo's had any time to read Huxtable's Choice.
There's also that. Lucky helps Gustavo to a room where he can rest. Boone makes you all a meal, and you kind of gather in the dining hall / conference room, conference hall. And is there anything that you want to talk about during this time of rest?
I think we want to thoroughly discuss our recent events and what we know about each of the knights that we found and what we've learned along the way, and just sort of figure out if we have any clues that we might be missing in this time, which we probably as
and as Boone is bringing in food, he's like,
I can set up a board, and I have some chalk if you want to write on like a presentation.
That'd be great. Yeah,
I'm really good at
Do you have any red string?
I don't. I could try to find some.
We could just start with a board.
I might be able to. Okay.
And he kind of telekinesis a slate board, and he like floats over some pieces of chalk, and yeah, he starts bringing out some like breads and cheeses and things like that.
Now, I will point out that when Melbin and I first came in the prologue, that we found that there was a bunch of the that this place runs by like one religion at a time takes over, and that they kind of run the show for however many years till whatever, and like that the current one had put all of the other statues of all the other religions underground and like hid them away, and was trying to do like some like one religion to rule them all thing in this place. So Matt, I don't know if you have more details on those things that we noted from then, but that might be something that we could fill in the gang on.
So that was Narson Drell that was in charge, right? And he revealed to us when we met him that he was a member of the Platinum Syndicate, but he tried to tell us he was a good member.
Correct. Right. Keep your enemies close kind of thing. Yeah, the Church of Avaros is running their own city watch called the Purifiers. They don't like magic.
You guys, the three of you, Yenni, Igneous, and Diedre, were captured and being held under a temple of Avaros, and that's where they rescued y'all, the other two. That's where, and then you found in sort of this like sub chamber of that temple, the side room, which had all of the statues, and one of them, Mistra, I believe, the statue had her head severed. Yeah,
and that like Nasandrel, Avaros, Purifiers are like connected together, and they hate magic, and that they're up to no good.
Who was asking us recently about the different deities? Was that Narson Drell that was asking us about the different kind of deities that were in each of the realms? And they were all kind of like minor?
Well, what he said is when you mentioned all of the deities that you had run into, he had not heard of any of them other than Lolth, the goddess of the Drow and Shadow. He had not heard of Thorax, Ravella, Quasathu was later, but Octavia, he had not heard of any of these other ones. So that was interesting, and he was like, there's something going on with that. But if you can find out anything else about like false gods or maybe new gods or something like that, there might be. He was interested to find out more. Because as a cleric, as a high cleric, he's very studied in that, and sort of the gods and the history of demigods and deities and whatnot. All of you make a history check.
You're going to dice jail, die.
13.
7.
5.
8.
Okay, as you're sitting there eating, and you're like, what else would make sense? Who? Diedre, you remember that somebody mentioned something about, like, we didn't find out a lot about the god, but there was that place that we went to in Coldguard, that vampire said we could ask him questions.
Oh yeah.
He's very old, and he's like, if you ever need anything, you can always ask me. That just kind of crosses your mind, like.
Oh, you know what, darlings? I feel like we have an underutilized resource. Do you remember that Victor von Schnall? Did I do that wrong?
No, it was good. Von Schnell, yeah.
Von Schmallface.
Right.
Anyways, darlings, he offered, to possibly lend us a hand, and I feel like in this particular query, somebody with that much time on the planet, and naturally quite a bit of social pull, might be worth paying a visit to. Just throwing it out.
That guy, there was a
It
vampire, and who I forced to polka dance when we left.
Well, yes, I mean, obviously there are going to be repercussions for those actions, but we find ourselves at a time with somewhat limited resources, and, might be worth exploring. Nobody's perfect.
I think we will have the same issues getting there as we would going to
go back to wherever it was that Theo wanted to go.
Yep.
We have to wait a month. Unless someone knows how to send a message.
You remember the kind of the terms or the sort of the rules of returning. Anybody that went can't go, but anybody that, but that doesn't mean somebody else couldn't go that didn't go, right? Could go through a teleportation to that place.
Is there anybody here that didn't already?
There are other rescued knights.
Yeah, what about that guy with the black coat? He's all like, got the hair in front of his face and everything.
Oh yes, I feel like him and a vampire would get along famously.
Yeah.
Oh, are you talking about XX Bloody Heart?
Boone comes over and drops off some fruit.
I think he left. He said he was going back. He was gonna walk around, see what he could find. I told him it was really nasty out there in the Underdark, but he was like, whatever, man, I can take it, or something like that.
Well, Boone,
He's really good at hiding. He could just be right here. You never know. It's a lot of dark cloaks.
I didn't actually see him leave. In fact, I don't know if he asked anybody on how to actually get out of here. It's kind of confusing because there's no front door.
XX.
So I don't.
Anybody? XX, come in.
XX Bloody Heart, are you here?
Let's just talk to him through the
Tattoo him.
Oh yeah, you can always use your tattoos. I mean, basically anybody that has a tattoo, if you know who they are, you could communicate with them. So, are there any knights at that place? Or maybe you could send somebody to that place and then talk to the vampire.
Theo, why don't you try to contact XX Bloody Heart and find out where he is using your tattoo?
Oh, okay. Sure.
Theo places a hand on his tattoo and
XX Bloody Heart, are you out there? I'm everywhere. I'm nowhere.
A little beat goes by.
Well, where are you now specifically? Because we could kind of use some help. I got I got kind of trapped in a closet. I was trying to get out of this place, but I got kind of trapped. I'm still on the grounds, but I could really use some help now. If you guys could come help me, okay. We'll find you and get you out.
What did he say?
He said he was in some sort of. Is there like a broom closet or something that? Is near the exit.
Yeah, it's actually.
Are you sure it wasn't a metaphor? Was he in a metaphorical closet?
Well, there is a closet on the first floor called the Boone Closet. It's where I keep some of my stuff. People call it Boone because it sounds like broom closet. But I'll see if he's in there because it actually you have to be a beholder to actually get out. It's just a thing that the sorceress set up for me. I'll check to see if he's in there.
Okay, this is all making sense. Yeah.
All right, so Boone leaves for a second. Theo and Melbin, since y'all were sort of first on the scene with Gustavo, I would like you to make either a medicine check or an arcana check.
I will do medicine because that's always good for me.
I will do arcana. Also
21 medicine.
21?
21 medicine.
Okay.
5.
All right. Melbin, you think back to the poison that you saw when you were healing, but in the moment you were so caught up in just trying to channel the energy, it was hard to pay attention. But as a passive observer, Theo, you were able to kind of get a good look at the black substance that was sort of the poison that was all over, that was infecting, and it looked familiar. With a 21, what you saw reminded you of somebody else that was poisoned, that you tried to heal with a simple healing, and it didn't work, and she died. And it was yours and Melbin's mentor who brought you into the Knights, Anastasia, who was also stabbed and was poisoned. And you remember now that she was kind of under a similar effect. She was poisoned. Melbin tried to heal her, but just heal. He didn't lay on hands. And she unfortunately was not saved. It was a very similar looking poisoning effect, almost like a necrotic energy that you've dealt with before in some of your battles, like with the Lich recently in the castle. It had that same sort of life-stealing black necrotic energy.
Melbin, I'm wondering if what happened to Anastasia was the same thing that happened just now, that poison that she healed.
Oh, if only I had thought to lay on hands at that time.
Oh, no. We didn't know, but it seemed like that same kind of evil, dark magic. Maybe it's connected.
Well, then we must find these fiends and destroy them. For Anastasia.
For her memory.
And you remember it was your former ally turned betrayer, Raleigh, who is a half-elf rogue, and she was the one who stabbed Anastasia and then ran off.
Because one of them, I think,
and
Corbear didn't survive.
Corbear was killed, but then Raleigh, Rayla was the one, a half-elf. She was the one she's the one that stabbed Anastasia, and then Rayla got away. And Gustavo said that it was the purifiers, these dark, shadowy, hooded people that y'all saw outside of the High Temple, were the ones that stabbed. So, don't know if there's a connection there, but it's sort of going through your head. Just then, Boone comes back in with a disheveled but otherwise not harmed XX Bloody Heart, a human in 2 cloaks.
Well, I decided to come back. It's a little hard to get around out there in the Underdark, so I'm back for now.
Hey, you want to meet a real dark, creepy, cold vampire guy?
That's what I'm all about, so yeah.
How do you feel about jaunty dance music in 2?
I don't like that at all.
How about clarinets.
Well, if you had cast that polka spell, Igneous, it probably would have.
Yeah, I feel like he's gonna remember it though. Maybe just you go. Don't mention that I mentioned that. That's fine.
You got it, Ignatius.
Well, there is one problem.
Oh, he's making fun of
person
my name. Is that what's happening right now? He's just misinterpreting my name because he thinks it's weird. Okay, that's fine. Continue.
Yeah, I think he was making fun of your name, Ignatius, because your name's Igneous, and he kind of said it funny. But the problem is that the only person that can cast the teleportation spell is Lucky, and he's resting. So if he casts a teleportation spell, then you guys will have to wait to go see Narsendrel another day.
Man, so many conditions. XX, we don't need you. Go back in the closet.
All right, fine.
What was Raffaella was going to send the other ones to Oakhart?
She was gonna send the others to Oakhart, so she was doing that. Ganok, remember, sent before you left, sent Coach and Dendon. So that you're not sure how long that was because of the passage of time, but it seems like if you only had an hour and then there was another hour and whatnot, it was probably within, the last couple hours.
That was probably 3 or 4 coach deaths ago. Let's.
Do you
Go ahead.
Do you want me to see if Ganok is around or
Yes,
Raffaella?
please.
Okay, I'll be right back.
And Boone kind of floats. You can see for the first time, Boone is getting a little like, do these guys know what they're doing? Like I'm just okay. I'm gonna help you out.
No idea. We don't know.
He's getting a little worried, but he's concerned. Out of concern, like he's like a mother chicken.
I mean, we're all going to rest anyway, right? So, in theory, in the morning, everyone should be rested up. They can send us to Valentrell and XX to wherever Vic was from.
Yeah. In theory.
And we'll all be good.
Hey, is there like, I don't know, like a forge or any blacksmith equipment in this facility?
Are you asking us?
If you've seen it around, or has anybody seen a place like that? Did I miss a room or something? I didn't know there was a boon closet.
Well, we do have rooms that can turn into anything, so if you wish upon a room for the blacksmith thing, you could probably have one.
Boy, hey, what if we just wish for a room that has that vampire in it and then go in?
What? If that worked, we could just wish for a room that had Drake Bloodmoon in it and skip the middleman. I don't need to see the poker vampire.
Well, why don't we do that?
Whoa.
Let's go and try it. We
we
haven't
can do
even
that?
tried it yet.
We should do that. That's
Or a
smart.
portal to Drake Bloodmoon.
Oh, that's a good one. Okay, let's go up and try it out. We stump
Yeah.
upstairs.
Wishing
Okay.
time.
I wish for...
I'm gonna let this happen.
All right, I'm going to wish for Drake Bloodmoon to be in a tavern on the other side of the door.
You open the door, and there is a tavern, and
Okay,
it is
good.
it is lovely, and there's a hearth and a fireplace, and there's nobody in it.
Okay, nobody's here. All right, close it up. Okay,
Hey, wait,
Where's the portal?
How did you know no one was there? What if he was like behind the bar? Or what if he was a stool?
okay, let me check again. Okay. Next time I will do an investigation.
Investigate, sure.
11.
It just looks like kind of a empty tavern.
Okay, I don't think he's in there, Yenni.
Although you hear music, but there's no band.
Why? Where's that music coming from? Is it coming from Drake Bloodmoon?
You don't. It's like this weird sort of ambiance music that's sort of in the air, and you try to find the source of it, and it's just everywhere.
Okay, I'm gonna close the door, and I'd like to.
Is this
have a
Theo doing
room-
this or XX?
Yes, it's Theo.
Okay.
It's Theo. I want to think of a room that has a portal that leads directly to Drake Bloodmoon.
And Rebecca comes up next to you.
Okay, hold on, girl. Hold on. Daddy's got you. Okay. And then opens.
Okay, you open the room, and what you see is a sort of recreation of the Grumble Gate, which is where it's kind of a mile underneath you, and it looks like that. So you step inside.
Guys, I think this one's going to work. Now go in and... Is there like an active portal happening?
There's no portal.
Dang it.
Well, if we
Okay,
if we just get one of the sorcerers in like 8 hours to come in here and focus on it, we can maybe use it.
No, hold on. Okay. Hold on. All right, I close the door. And I'm going to wish for...
And before you do that, you see at the top of the stairs, you see Raffaella looking at you with a very puzzled, slightly perturbed look. And she's, "What are you doing?"
Oh, well, we were just trying to see what the power of these rooms were.
It can't conjure any beings or recreate any magics. It just creates the illusion, the illusory effect of a place. That's it. That's it.
Do you have any blacksmiths in here, by the way?
No, not
Forges?
anymore. I just sent... there's some rudimentary smithing equipment in one of the workshops, but it was set up by another knight a few years ago, but it hasn't been in use for a while. I don't think it would be better for anything than maybe some fixes to some armor or whatnot, but there's
basic
no
blacksmithing repairs and stuff. Good. And what would you say your favorite kind of fruit is? Just off the top of your head. Yeah,
my favorite kind of... What does that have to do
just
with
off the top of your head? Answer the question. You could have answered it.
A
Papaya. Good answer. And your ideal first date would be what?
What? No, I'm not talking about this. Boone said that you needed another teleportation. What? Where did you want to go? I thought you were waiting to see Narsendrell when Lucky healed up.
Well, I think we wanted to go.
Well, when any of us healed up, really, because Lucky is already resting. I've just used my teleportation, and Ganoc is not back.
Just in the meantime, we were just throwing around ideas, seeing if we might be missing any clues. Looking for a blacksmith, considering where you might like to go on a first date. We all answered earlier. We just wanted to include you.
Who needs a blacksmith?
Oh, I think Yenni was looking for a blacksmith or something.
Good for the demon axe.
Yenni. Uh-huh.
What was it? Yeah, it was. She holds up the axe.
What?
Yeah, it needs sharpening.
Listen, I'm sorry that all of us are a bit tapped out. Ganoc went with Coach back to his place, Ironhaven, and because he was curious about seeing it, and Lucky and I don't have the spell capacity right now, but in several hours we will, and we'll be able to take you where you need to go. So I suggest all of us get some rest.
All right.
Sounds good.
Is there anything we can help you with, or I could help you rest, or anything like that?
I've heard he's quite good at massage.
She looks at Diedre kind of funny, like...
I mean, every once in a while, Melbin gets a cramp in his leg, and I gotta, work out a knot or something like that. But
magic fingers.
I'll be all right. I do yoga.
Ooh,
okay.
Keeps me limber. Anyway, did any of you find anything about these deities, that Narsendrell was asking about?
Well, we wanted to send XX Bloody Heart to go talk to that vampire Vic fellow to find out more.
Von Schnell.
Yes, him.
You know, he's an old enemy of the Knights, but apparently he's changed his ways to becoming a bit of a gambler of some sort, from what you told me. I don't know what he would be able to help you with, but I mean, I suppose we could try that. Did you find anything in in Ogjahar or Boulderbell?
Well, there's this book.
Well, why didn't you mention that in the first place, Melbin? What is the book about?
I'm trying to find the exact name of it.
It's Deities and Demigods of the Feywildian Court.
Well, I suggest you look over that.
Well,
Maybe
we
it
did.
would give us. Well, you briefly looked through it. You skimmed through it. It was not enough to really go in depth. So if you want, she says, I suggest you go through that thoroughly and try to find something that might be of use.
Yeah,
we're grasping at straws here.
Yeah, it looks like Diedre looked through it last time.
Oh, okay.
I don't remember anything.
You found some information on some gods old and false gods. Titania, Rasulka, or however you say that, Enku, Saloon, and Lolth.
Yeah. So if you want, Diedre can give it. Yeah. So Diedre gave it to you, and you have time now during your rest to look at that. Because
I'll read it over. Look specifically for any of the gods that we are trying to find more about, or any unknowns.
Is everybody okay? Just taking that time to take a rest.
Yes.
Okay. So you all kind of divvy up. Don't credit yourself a rest yet, because we might have to talk about some things. So Melbin, give me a religion check with advantage.
Advantage. All right. Well, that helped. 9.
9. Okay.
All my dice are going to dice check.
You look through this Deities and Demigods of the Feywildian Court by Archimedes Sveklandre is the author that you find kind of inscribed in the center. And it talks of several of the gods and goddesses and their known history. The book itself is written more like a journal. He tried to make it more of like I decided to find out more about the Feywildian gods and goddesses, and on my travels, and he thinks very highly of himself because I am a great
Inferno kind of thing.
Kinda, yeah. It's less of an almanac of like alphabetical information, but as it's more of like the chronicles of this adventurer and historian trying to gather information and find out stuff and about things conversations that he had with, you see that he had conversations with satyrs and boggles and centaurs, sprites, dryads, and through all these conversations, he learns about several key deities. There is information about the ones I'm going to kind of point out: Titania, Saloon, Aragne, and Metre. Those are the ones that have the biggest sort of sections.
We haven't run into anything about. Neither of those two gods were ones that the villains that we've defeated had anything to do with, right?
No, but when you come across Aragne, you do recognize that name from somewhere. Somebody mentioned it.
I feel like
XX Bloody Heart mentioned it.
I'm pretty sure I remember that it was from the house with the spider.
Yes. Because when you mentioned the room with the spider on the ground, he said something about Aragne, and you're like, oh, what was that? So do you want to spend some time on that chapter?
Yeah, let's look at that.
Okay. Give me another religion check with advantage.
Good. Let's try my last 2 dice. There we go. Okay, that's a little bit better. Religion? 15.
Okay. So the passage of Aragne says that he finds his way near the summer court of the Feywild, and it goes on to describe a lot of the flora and fauna of this area. It's a lot more pleasant than the previous place that he went to, and in the Feywild, and there were no hags in this area, but there was this Feywildian court, and there's a lot of sport that happens with this more recent demigoddess of the summer court, who is a half arachnid and half woman, having a penchant for making perilous deals, amassing power, and she loves sport. And there's a lot of there was a lot of floating lights around her courtroom. A lot of the people that he talked to, Archimedes, the author, talked to about Lady Aranye and found out that she hadn't been around as long as some of the other demigods, but she was only around less than 1,000 years, which is not that long for a god. And that's kind of what that says. That's what you kind of glean from that.
I would like to tell the rest of the party that, but also specifically I'd like to seek out XX.
Okay. Do you find XX Bloody Heart? XX, where are you as you're in the downtime?
In the darkness. The dark shadows.
Make a perception check, and XX make a stealth check.
I don't have his stats.
You probably succeed.
Let's see.
I rolled poorly. 8.
23.
Okay. So it takes you a good hour. You're looking around and you're hunting, you're asking people, and you're looking in the shadows. And eventually you see this slight texture difference in the shadow in one of the foyers. And
are you just standing in the corner?
No, you can't see me. I'm not here.
I hear you.
Oh, yeah, I'm here. What's up?
So, when we met before I died, you may recall, you...
Yeah, that was cool.
No, not so much. You mentioned an Aranye?
Yes.
What do you know of this goddess?
Well, let's see. Half lady, half spider, lives in the Fae. Always made deals with us. I had to work for her for a little bit to pay off a debt. It's pretty dope.
Do you know how to contact her?
Yeah. You just got to go to the Fae and you walk around a little bit and eventually she'll find you. Do you have a Fae portal or a Feywild portal or anything like that?
Well, we can't teleport anywhere until tomorrow.
Yeah. Teleporters, man, it's crazy.
Well, interesting. Thank you. You can go back to standing awkwardly in a corner now.
Yeah. She's also in a fight with her brother, Metre or something. It's all pretty fuzzy. I don't know.
I saw words about Metre in the book.
Yeah, they're all kind of connected together. It's all a power struggle-y thing out there. One's trying to come out on top in the Fae. I don't know. I had to kill a bunch of people for her. That was cool.
Thank you very much for your help. I appreciate you.
All right. Just don't look for me anymore.
Where did he go?
Okay.
I want my camel. I want my camel cloak back.
I'd go back and talk to the rest of the party about that and suggest possibly trying to contact this Lady Aranye.
Okay. Everybody else. What is everybody else doing during your downtime? Have you gone into your individual rooms, or are you hanging out together?
I think if we were going to our individual rooms to take our prescribed rest and cleaning, I'd be like, hey, Theo.
Yeah.
Could I stay in your room with you?
Oh, sure, of course. I was actually gonna do a couple chores first, but yeah.
It's just that's fine. It's just whenever I go in my room, it's kind of lonely. And when you described your room with it sounded nice.
Oh yeah, well you're always welcome, Iggy. We're good friends.
Thanks.
Hey, I got 2 more experiments I want to do with the rooms, though.
That's fine. I'll just tag along.
Okay. I wish for a room that has a map to Drake Bloodmoon in it on a desk.
Okay, you open the room, and there is a room with a desk. It's got some sconces on the wall. There's some candles. There is a map. It is a map of Valentrell. And
hey, that's something. Look at this, Igneous.
It leads to that gift shop.
It is that, and there's nothing on it. It's basically just Valentrell, and it's like a map you would find at a gift shop or something. Like it doesn't have like a big X on it or anything like that. It's just sort of this is a map.
Well, at least we know he's in Valentrell, right?
There's not like a "you are here" or like Drake Bloodmoon X on it. That maybe, I don't know. Maybe that's just where the room thinks he is.
Well, that's something. If the room thinks it,
that's where I thought he might be anyway. So we could try it. What else do you want to try?
Let's see. How about I wish for a room that looks exactly like the room that Drake Bloodmoon is currently in? Then I open that up.
You open it up, and it's kind of this gray swirling portal, the gray swirling mist, and it's sort of, there's bits of like shelves that come in and out of focus, and it's very fuzzy, and you kind of remember some of the things that you were told by Boone about conjuring these rooms. It's like if you know exactly what you're looking for, or if you've been there before, you will see it clearly. If you can't conjure something that you've never seen, and it's whatever you think. So then you think like, oh, the map is probably because I think he's in Valentrell. That's why it showed me a map of Valentrell. I don't actually know that. I've never seen this place, so it can't conjure something that's not in your head, because it's pulling out of your memory. That's it.
Maybe we should just rest.
Okay, well, maybe. Actually,
all right,
I'm
so
gonna,
y'all
slip over and I'm going to find that forge in the blacksmith shop.
Okay. You head down to the first floor, and you find a couple of utility rooms, and there is a room that has kind of a small kiln, and there's a couple of tools, but they're kind of beaten up. They're a little cobwebby. A small anvil. There's. It seems to be more of like a maintenance room where I think like pots and pans and weapons and stuff can be fixed lightly, but it's not like a full-on, like, you couldn't make a weapon here, but you could fix a weapon. So it's more of a quick utility type of thing. What is it that you want to try to make or work on?
Oh, just to kind of melt down some metal and try to form it into something else. Not a big piece of metal, but a little bit.
What's the metal?
Well, want to try and take some clippings off of Rebecca, see if I can melt it, and see if it will be reactive to fire.
Okay.
It's meltable.
Yeah. So you take a couple of clippings off of Rebecca's wool, put it inside of a little scoop that's like a fire, like a long handle. I wish I knew my blacksmithing term tools. It's like a little scoop, a spoon with like a long handle that can go into the kiln. You light up the kiln with pretty easy enough. You have some, I'm sure you have like a fire something ability, right? Cantrip. And you put it in there for, good 10, 15, 20, 30 minutes. You check it out every once in a while. It doesn't seem anything happening at first, but then over time it starts to almost burn, but then it becomes it's almost like mercury. It turns more liquidy and silver and lightens in color as opposed to darkens in color, and starts to congeal together into this hot orangey metal that's melted down. Almost looks like steel. but like a hot steel right now. It's in this cup.
Interesting. He's gonna try and make a mold, and he's gonna try and make it so that it can make a ring out of that much of the metal.
Okay. This is kind of a tinkering check. Do you have tinkering tools?
Yes.
If you have a feat or
I was a clan crafter as my.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I think that's where I got that.
So yeah, okay. So I'll say make a dexterity check with advantage.
Okay. 9.
Okay. The first sort of forging of a you sort of find some clay off in the side. You know, there's clay, there's sand, there's different materials that they use for like patching up parts of the castle and stuff like that, and you have to kind of bring it in from another room, and you do kind of make this ring shape, but it's a little off, and you pour the first part of the metal and it goes in, it sort of cracks open and doesn't quite work. You still have some more. Make another dexterity check with advantage. 20. All right. So you pour that out, but the metal that you poured in has solidified now into making the grooves, into making sort of this ring-shaped trough that you have, and now it's lined with a thin coating, almost like, you know, you're pouring chocolate into a mold and you pour it out and it has this nice kind of shell around it. So you pour the metal into that, and it's almost like perfectly ring-shaped. Other than the top, which could be sort of sanded and polished, but you get it in there, and after a few minutes, you are able to kind of crack open the clay, like a dice mold, if you will, and you kind of pop that out, and you take a polishing cloth with your toolkit and sand it down a little bit, and you have this ring that's made from
Rebecca's wool.
The filings of Rebecca's wool, which, you know, from touching Rebecca and being near Rebecca, has different, like, there's different healing properties. She's given you saving throws and stuff like that advantage. You mentioned what the other night told you about ingesting it or being near it could give you protective properties, but doing it too much or having too much of it would actually effectively just completely solidify you into this metal. But only a little bit. You're not sure.
Next, full plate.
You could call it a ring of steel wool or something, and we'll talk stats later. Or I know what it does in my head, but okay. But if you put it on or you give it to somebody, I will let you know what happens.
Okay, that's it.
Okay.
Go, snuggle up, spoon up with Iggy.
Are you a little spoon?
You want to be a big? Which spoon?
You're kind of bigger than him.
Big spoon.
Okay. Okay.
I can see Theo being like, I don't know what to do with my arm. I don't know what to put it up. Can I put it under your head?
Under.
It's falling asleep. So all of you are kind of, you know, some of you might be drifting off. Some of you are like working on subtle activities. Melbin's kind of working on this book, reading into it a little bit more. And then about 4 hours into your downtime, 5 hours into your downtime, you hear this coming from the main lobby.
Oh, Iggy, did you hear that?
Yeah.
Wake up, buddy.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, we should go. I'm gonna go.
And then almost immediately you hear Boone's voice from the distance saying, somebody get down here!
Uh-oh. Okay, let's go. Prepare for a fight.
Rush down.
Does everybody rush down?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, so all of you kind of get your bearings and get your stuff together, and you rush down, and you head down the stairs, one set of stairs, and you come into the main hallway, and what you see is in front there is a dark purple, smoky teleportation circle, but it's not like the ones that you guys have used. It's almost like a different energy. It looks very similar, though, because you've seen this before in the dungeon torture room underneath the Temple of Avros that you originally, all 5 of you met. There was a dark priest that cast this that you tried to fight with, and as you were fighting this big undead zombie ogre, he actually got away. Theo tried to swarm him with, I think it was spiders, but he dispelled your magic and made it go away, and then he got away, and he said, "That's right." And why that comes to mind is right in front of this portal is that mage, surrounded by 5 dark, hooded, pale-skinned, leather-clad, and long sword-wielding purifiers. To the right and left of these 6 humanoid figures are large 10 feet by 7 feet wide swirling masses of shadow and vapor, and with these kind of faceless maws that are kind of like floating, almost like a mouth is opening over and over and over again, with tendrils coming out of where the mouth should be, just floating over the ground. And the mage looks up at you and says, "We found you."